The cry in the stars. The stars were silent. Liam sat alone in his small spaceship, drifting near the edge of a forgotten system. He was a scavenger, a man who searched the galaxy for old ships, broken machines, or anything he could sell. His ship, the Nomad, was old and slow, but it was all he had. That night, something strange happened. His ship picked up a signal. It was weak, almost dead. A broken voice repeated the same message every few seconds. "Please, don't let me die here." Liam sat up straight in his chair. He checked the coordinates. The signal was coming from a dead moon not far from him. "A distress call," he whispered. He thought for a moment. He had found many fake signals before, traps from space pirates or broken recordings playing on repeat. But this one felt different. The voice didn't sound like a machine. It sounded like someone real, someone scared. Without thinking, Liam changed course. He had no idea that decision would change his life forever. The moon was gray and cold. No plants, no life, just rock and ice. Liam landed his ship near the signal. Outside, the wind blew soft dust across the ground. He wore a thick suit and walked toward a broken shape in the distance. It was a crashed ship, sleek, dark, and nothing like human design. Alien. The door was broken. Lights blinked weakly inside. Liam stepped carefully, holding his scanner. "Life signs. Very low," the scanner said. He moved deeper into the ship. Burn marks covered the walls. Something bad had happened here. Then he found her. She was lying in a corner, barely breathing. Her skin was pale blue, glowing slightly. She had silver hair, tangled and dusty. Her clothes were torn and covered in blood. But her face was calm, like she was dreaming. Liam dropped to his knees. He pressed the scanner to her chest. "Still alive. Please, help." The voice was weak, but it was real. Her eyes opened just a little. She saw Liam and whispered, "They left me." "Who left you?" he asked, shocked. But her eyes closed again. She was too weak to speak more. Liam knew he had to move fast. He picked her up carefully. She was lighter than she looked. As he carried her out of the ship, the wind blew harder, almost like the moon itself was warning him. Back inside the Nomad, Liam placed her on the medical bed. The ship's AI scanned her and began basic healing. "Unknown species," the AI said. "Vitals unstable. Suggest full rest and energy transfusion." Liam connected his ship's power to her bed. Lights turned green. Her breathing became slow but steady. He sat beside her, watching her sleep. Who was she? Why was she left behind? And who attacked her ship? As he sat there, the broken alien device in his hand, something he found near her, lit up for a second, then went dark. A chill ran down his spine. Something was watching. Hours passed. Liam stayed close, checking her vitals, cleaning her wounds, and making sure she had water. She didn't wake up again, but her body was healing. Her skin looked brighter now. Then, a sound. Beep, beep, beep. An alert flashed on the screen. Incoming ship, no ID, no response to contact. Liam stood up fast. He looked at the radar. A small black ship was approaching. Fast. "They found us," he whispered. He didn't know who they were, but deep in his heart, he knew one thing. They weren't here to save her. He looked back at the sleeping alien girl. "I don't know who you are," he said, "but I'm not giving you up." Liam jumped into the pilot's seat and lifted the Nomad off the ground. The engines roared to life. The black ship followed, silent and fast. The chase had begun, and Liam was now part of a war he didn't understand. The secret passenger. The stars rushed past the window like falling snow. Liam's hands gripped the ship's controls tightly. His heart beat fast. Behind him, the alien girl was still unconscious on the medical bed. In front of him, a black enemy ship followed them like a shadow. Liam didn't know who was chasing him, but he knew they weren't human. Their ship didn't answer his signals. It just moved, silent, cold, and fast. "Come on, Nomad, hold together," Liam whispered. He flew through an asteroid field, sharp rocks spinning all around him. The enemy ship followed. Liam twisted the controls. His ship dove, rolled, then disappeared behind a large asteroid. He cut the engines. Silence. He held his breath. A moment passed. Then two. The enemy ship flew past, missing him by inches. Liam waited a few seconds more, then powered up again and shot in the opposite direction. He needed to escape, not just for himself, but for the girl. He looked back at her. She was still breathing, slowly, quietly, but she was alive. Hours later, they were far away from danger. Liam set the ship to autopilot and walked back to the small medbay. He sat beside the girl, watching her sleep. Her skin had a soft glow, and her hair now shimmered under the ship lights. There was something peaceful about her, but also something dangerous. He could feel it. Suddenly, she stirred. Her eyes opened. Bright, violet eyes. She sat up quickly and looked around. Her breath was sharp, her hands ready to fight. Her body trembled. "Hey, easy," Liam said, raising his hands. "You're safe." She stared at him. Then her voice came out, soft but full of fear. "You touched me." "Yes, I found you. On the moon. You were dying." She looked down at herself, then at the ship, then at him. Her eyes widened. "You shouldn't have touched me," she whispered. "Now they'll come." "They already came," Liam replied. "I barely got us out." Her body relaxed a little, but her eyes stayed sharp. "Who are you?" she asked. "Name's Liam. I'm just a scavenger. I wasn't trying to be a hero." She looked away. "I am Valera," she said, "Princess of the House of Vereen, or what's left of it." Liam blinked. "You're a princess." She didn't answer. She was too busy scanning the room, studying every detail. "I don't understand," Liam said. "Why were you left behind? Why would your own people abandon you?" Valera looked at him, and for the first time, he saw the pain in her eyes. "They didn't leave me," she said quietly. "They sold me." Liam didn't speak for a while. He just listened as she told her story. Her people had ruled a star system filled with ancient knowledge. One day, they discovered a powerful device, technology from a lost race older than anything in the galaxy. It could change DNA, rewrite life, and even rebuild planets. Everyone wanted it. Wars broke out. Enemies attacked. Even her own allies turned greedy. To protect the secret, the royal family hid the device inside the only person they could trust, Valera. But that made her a target. She was captured during a peace meeting. Her guards betrayed her. Her ship was shot down. They thought she was dead. "But I survived," she said. "Barely. Until you came." Liam rubbed the back of his neck. "So, what exactly is inside you?" She looked at him with sad eyes. "Something that doesn't belong in this world. It's not a weapon. It's a seed, a beginning. The last piece of an ancient race that wanted to heal, not destroy." Liam tried to understand. "And the people chasing you? They don't want to heal anything," she said. "They want to use it to control life, build armies, make slaves." She paused, then added, "And now, it's waking up." As if her words had power, the alien device Liam had found on the moon suddenly lit up. It was still in his coat, and now it glowed through the fabric. Valera stood up fast. "You brought it here?" she asked. "I didn't know what it was." She stepped forward and gently touched the glowing object. The light pulsed. Her eyes glowed for a moment too. Then she collapsed. Liam caught her before she hit the floor. "Valera." She was breathing. Her eyes opened again slowly. "It's starting," she whispered. The seed is waking. And it's choosing. Choosing what? She didn't answer. Instead, her skin shimmered and a faint light came from her chest. A symbol began to glow on her collarbone. A symbol that looked old and beautiful. Liam stared at it. Somehow, he knew what it meant. The protector has been marked. But who was it marking? Valera reached out and touched his chest with her glowing hand. It's not just in me anymore, she whispered. Now, it's in you too. Liam sat in shock as her hand dropped back. He didn't feel different. Not yet, but he knew something was happening. Something big. Something dangerous. He looked out the window at the stars, and for the first time in his life, he felt small, not because he was weak, but because something powerful had just begun. He turned to look at Valera. Her eyes were closed again. But now, she smiled. Hunters of the Lost Royal. The stars outside were quiet, but inside the Nomad, everything was changing. Liam sat near the sleeping alien princess, watching her chest rise and fall. She had touched him before she fainted. Her skin had glowed, and something had passed into him. He didn't know what it was, but it felt alive. He stared at his hand. It looked the same, but inside, he felt a slow, warm movement. Not pain, more like light flowing through his blood. Valera had said something important before she collapsed. It's not just in me anymore. Now, it's in you too. But what did that mean? Liam didn't have time to think about it. A loud alarm broke the silence. Beep, beep, beep. The ship's AI voice spoke, calm but serious. Warning. Incoming vessel. No ID. Speed. Attack mode. Liam jumped into the pilot's chair. On the screen, a black triangle-shaped ship raced toward them. It was the same one that had chased them before. Maybe worse. They found us again, he whispered. He didn't know how. Maybe the alien tech was sending out signals, or maybe they had marked Valera long ago. Either way, Liam knew one thing. They weren't here to talk. He fired the engines and flew hard toward a nearby gas giant. It was surrounded by thick clouds and storms. He hoped to hide inside. The enemy ship followed. Liam dove through lightning clouds and swirling winds. Electric blasts danced across his shields. But he didn't stop. Behind him, the enemy fired. Boom! The ship shook. Sparks flew from the walls. Shields down to 43%, the AI said. Liam gritted his teeth. Come on, just a little longer. He flew deeper into the gas storm. Then suddenly, silence. No more blasts. No more shaking. Had they lost him? He checked the radar. Nothing. But he knew better. He kept flying, eyes sharp. Back in the medbay, Valera woke up. Her skin was pale, but her eyes were calm. She walked slowly to the control room. You should rest, Liam said. There's no time, she replied. They've sent hunters. Hunters. She nodded. Not soldiers. Not mercenaries. These are trained beings from the dark side of the galaxy. Their only job is to find me and kill me. Liam frowned. Why kill? Why not capture you? Valera's voice dropped to a whisper. Because I'm not the goal anymore. Now that the seed is in you, you are. Suddenly, the radar beeped again. Enemy ship detected. Above. Close range. Liam's heart stopped. A shadow passed over the cockpit. The enemy ship had gone above the storm. A new alert appeared. Boarding hooks detected. They're trying to lash on. They're not going to blast us. Liam asked. No, Valera said. They want you alive. She looked at him. Liam, you can't let them take you. If they get the seed inside you, it's over. For everyone. Liam stood. Then we fight. She nodded. Together, they ran to the armory. Liam had an old plasma rifle. Valera picked up a blade from her world. It glowed with blue light. The ship shook again. Thump, Thump. The hunters were on board. The hallway lights flickered. Steam hissed from the vents. Liam stood at the corner, weapon ready. Then he saw one. Tall, insect-like armor. 4 glowing eyes. No face. It moved fast. Liam fired. The shot hit, but the hunter kept walking. Valera ran forward and slashed her blade across its chest. Sparks flew. The creature screamed and fell. More came. They were silent, deadly, almost like ghosts. Liam and Valera fought back to back. Every step was a war. Why are they so strong? Liam yelled. They're not alive like us, Valera said. They were built from dead warriors. Their minds erased. Their only purpose is the hunt. Suddenly, a blade stabbed Liam in the arm. He shouted in pain and dropped his rifle. Valera screamed and cut down the attacker. Liam fell to one knee, holding his wound. Then something strange happened. The mark on his chest, where Valera had touched him, began to glow. His pain faded. He stood again, stronger. Even Valera stepped back in surprise. You? Healed. Liam looked at his arm. No blood. No scar. Nothing. I didn't do that, he said. It just happened. She stared at him. The seed is waking. They reached the engine room. Liam pressed a switch. The doors locked. For now, we're safe, he said, breathing hard. Valera placed her hand on his. There is more to come, she said. This was just a scout team. The real army comes next. Liam looked at her. I didn't ask for this, he said. I know, she replied. I'm just a scavenger. I don't even believe in destiny or magic. Neither did I, she said softly, until the seed chose you. Liam sat down, eyes wide. Why me? She smiled gently. Because you didn't leave me to die. Outside the ship, the black hunter vessel began to pull away. Inside, only silence remained. The last hunter had been destroyed, but something darker was coming. Valera could feel it. And now, so could Liam. He looked down at his hands again. He didn't feel human anymore. Something old was inside him now, and it was only beginning to awaken. The forbidden planet. Liam stared out the window of the Nomad. The black space in front of him was filled with stars, but none of them felt safe anymore. He wasn't a simple scavenger now. He had something inside him, something powerful, something dangerous, and the whole galaxy wanted it. Behind him, Valera stood quietly, watching the star charts on the screen. Her violet eyes were focused. Her face was calm, but her voice was heavy. There's only one place left, she said. One place where we can find answers. Liam turned. Where? She pressed a glowing mark on the map. A red planet appeared, covered in storms. Rings of shattered rock floated around it. There were no cities, no ships, no life. The name blinked in a warning box. ZERETH 9. Do not APPWH. That planet's forbidden, Liam said. Even smugglers avoid it. Ships go in, but never come out. Because they're not welcome, Valera said. But I am. My blood carries the key. Liam crossed his arms. And you're sure that's where the seed came from? Valera nodded. Zereth 9 is where the ancients lived. It's where the seed was made. If we go there, it may show us what it truly wants. As the Nomad approached the cursed planet, the ship's lights flickered. Static filled the radio. Even the AI's voice stuttered. Warning. Gravity. Unstable. Energy readings unknown. The closer they flew, the darker the space became. It felt like flying through a dead memory. Suddenly, the planet's surface came into view. Dark mountains, purple lightning, floating rocks, rivers of glowing red dust. There were ruins, massive towers half buried in sand. Symbols floated in the air, glowing softly like whispers. "This place gives me the creeps," Liam muttered. Valera placed her hand on his shoulder. "This place remembers everything, even you." They landed near a broken stone gate. As they stepped out, Liam's boots sank into the strange sand. It didn't feel like dust. It felt alive. The wind whispered in a language he couldn't understand. Valera walked forward, her silver hair flowing behind her like light. They reached the gate. It opened on its own. Inside was a long hallway. Lights lit up as they passed, soft blue and gold. Ancient walls told stories. Carvings of stars, wars, and strange beings with eyes like suns. "This is a memory path," Valera said. "The ancients used it to pass knowledge." They walked deeper. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed all around them. "Who comes with the seed?" Liam stopped. "Did you hear that?" Valera nodded. "Yes, it knows you're here." The walls glowed. A figure appeared ahead. It was made of light, tall, with no face, only a shape. It looked at Liam. "You are not of the blood," the voice said, "yet the seed flows through you." "I didn't choose this," Liam said. "No," the voice replied, "but it chose you." The figure turned to Valera. "Daughter of Varine, why have you returned?" "To awaken the truth," she said, "and to protect him." "Then pass the trial," the voice said. "Both of you." The room changed. Suddenly, they were standing in a wide circle made of glowing glass. Around them, shadows moved. Creatures formed from smoke and fire. They circled slowly. "What is this?" Liam asked. "The memory trial," Valera said. "They will test our minds, our hearts, our fear." The first shadow attacked. Liam fired, but his gun vanished. He had no weapon. He looked at his hands, and the mark on his chest glowed again. Light burst from his fingers. The shadow screamed and vanished. More came. Valera fought with her energy blade, dancing between the figures. But Liam didn't need weapons. He raised his hand, and the light inside him grew brighter. He could feel the seed responding to the fear. It didn't want to destroy. It wanted to protect. He focused. He pushed back. The shadows exploded into dust. The trial ended. The room faded back into stone. The glowing figure appeared again. "You have passed," it said. "The seed accepts you." Liam stepped forward. "What does it want from me?" The figure raised its hand. A large stone tablet rose from the ground. On it was a vision. A galaxy at war, cities burning, machines consuming planets, and in the center, Liam, glowing like a star. "You are the bridge," the voice said, "between creation and destruction, between ancient and new. The seed chose you because you still believe in something no one else does." Liam stared. "What?" he asked. The voice answered, "Hope." Back on the ship, hours later, Liam sat in silence. Valera placed a small crystal in front of him. It was taken from the heart of the ruins. "It will help you control the seed," she said, "when the time comes." Liam looked at her. "You knew all this before, didn't you?" She nodded slowly. "I knew. Parts, but not the full truth." He smiled sadly. "I guess I'm not a scavenger anymore." She looked into his eyes. "No," she said, "now you are something more." They sat together as the nomad rose into the stars again. Behind them, the forbidden planet returned to silence. But ahead, darkness waited. The true enemy was coming. And this time, they would bring everything they had. What she gave him. Liam sat alone in the cockpit of the Nomad. Stars drifted past like dust in the dark. His hands trembled slightly as he stared at the glowing crystal on the dashboard. It pulsed in rhythm with his heart. Quiet, steady, alive. This wasn't just a power source. It was part of the seed. Part of him now. Behind him, he could hear soft footsteps. Valera entered the cockpit quietly. Her silver hair shimmered in the ship's light, and her violet eyes looked tired but kind. "You haven't slept," she said. "I can't," Liam replied. He picked up the crystal. "This thing is inside me, right?" Valera nodded. "It's not a machine, not a weapon. It's something much older. A living code. It joins with the soul. It doesn't just give power. It becomes part of who you are." Liam looked down. "And if I die?" She stepped closer. "Then it dies with you." Silence filled the room. For the first time, Liam truly understood the weight of what he carried. This wasn't just about saving one princess or escaping one battle. This was about balance. If the seed fell into the wrong hands, entire civilizations could be wiped out, or worse, rebuilt to serve darkness. Valera sat beside him. "There's something you don't know," she said. Liam looked at her, confused. She took a deep breath. "When the seed first entered me, it began to change me. I was chosen by my people to carry it, but not because I was strong. It was because I was alone, easy to sacrifice." Liam's eyes widened. "They used you." "Yes," she whispered. "I was a symbol, not a person. That's why I was sent to the Peace Summit. That's why they never came back for me after the crash." He leaned forward. "You're not a symbol to me." She looked into his eyes and smiled. "That's why it chose you." Later that day, Liam sat in the medbay. The glowing mark on his chest had grown brighter. The light would sometimes move across his skin like flowing ink. It didn't hurt, but it called to something deep inside him. Valera entered the room again. She was holding a small glowing box. "What's that?" Liam asked. She opened it carefully. Inside was a silver shard. Thin, sharp, almost weightless. "This is part of the original casing that held the seed," she said. "It responds to thought, emotion, memory." She stepped closer. "I want you to have it." Liam stood up, surprised. "Why?" "Because what's coming, you might have to face it alone." Suddenly, the ship's alarm rang. Beep, beep, beep. Liam rushed to the control panel. "Another ship?" he asked. "No," the AI said. "Not a ship. An energy wave." He stared at the screen. A red wave was heading toward them. Fast. "It's a tracker pulse," Valera said. "It's looking for the seed." Liam turned the ship away, but the pulse followed. "We can't outrun it," he shouted. "No," Valera said softly, "but I can slow it down." She walked toward the back of the ship. "What are you talking about?" he yelled, chasing her. "I have part of the original signal," she said. "If I leave the ship, the wave will chase me, not you." Liam grabbed her arm. "You're not doing this." Her voice broke. "I have to. You've seen it, Liam. The seed wants you, not me." She looked down at his chest, where the mark now burned like a sun. "You're its choice, its protector." He shook his head. "I can't lose you." She smiled. "You already saved me once. Let me return the gift." Without warning, she pressed her palm to his chest. Light exploded around them. His body shook. Visions filled his mind. 1,000,000 stars, a forgotten city, a war that had not yet begun. And her voice, whispering through it all, "I give you my light, my memory, my part of the seed." When he opened his eyes, she was on the floor, her body weak, trembling. "Valera." He held her, heart racing. She looked up at him and smiled weakly. "It's yours now, all of it." He felt it, inside. A surge of heat, of memory, of ancient power now completed. The seed was whole, within him. She had given up her part. For him. He placed her gently on the bed. Her skin flickered dimly, but she was breathing. He walked back to the cockpit, eyes glowing with a golden light. The energy wave was almost upon them. Liam stood tall. "No more running." He turned the ship around and faced the storm head-on. The AI warned him. Power levels unstable. Energy signature off the charts. I know, he said. He placed the crystal Valera gave him into the control core. The ship lit up with golden light. The wave hit, but instead of destroying the ship, it stopped, paused, then turned to dust. The seed inside Liam had answered. The galaxy had tested him again, and he had passed. Hours later, Valera woke. Liam sat beside her, holding her hand. You're safe, she whispered. No, he said. We are. She looked into his glowing eyes. You're changing. He nodded. Because of what you gave me. The ship floated quietly now. But something had shifted. Liam wasn't just carrying the seed. He was the seed's new guardian. And Valera had given him more than power. She had given him her trust, her heart, and maybe her love. Rise of the Human Protector. Liam stood alone in the cockpit of the Nomad, staring out at the swirling clouds of a dead star system. The ship was silent except for the soft hum of the engine. He could feel it, the power within him. It had grown since the wave had hit. Stronger, deeper, like a river flowing beneath his skin. But it wasn't just the seed anymore. It was his power now. He looked down at the mark on his chest. It glowed faintly, a symbol of something ancient, something he had no words for. Valera was resting in the medbay. She had given him everything. The power she had passed on to him. Her memories, her strength, and her trust. He had become more than a man. He had become a protector. The protector of the seed. But he wasn't just protecting it from the galaxy's enemies. He was protecting it from himself. The ship's alarm suddenly blared. Beep, beep, beep. Incoming enemy fleet. They're here, the AI announced, its voice filled with tension. Liam gritted his teeth. He knew what was coming. For hours, they had been moving through uncharted space, hoping to evade detection. But they couldn't outrun the truth. The enemies were closing in, the signal was out, and the galaxy was about to fall into chaos. He jumped to his feet and ran to the cockpit controls. How many ships? He asked. The AI displayed a holographic map. Ships appeared like shadows in the distance, dozens of them, heavy, black, and armed with weapons capable of destroying entire planets. A full fleet. It's an invasion force, the AI said. Liam turned to the weapon systems. He didn't know how much the ship could handle, but he was about to find out. Valera, Liam shouted. She entered the cockpit, her steps slow but determined. Her hair was still damp from the rest, but her eyes were wide open. She looked at him with something more than exhaustion. You're awake, he said, almost relieved. I never sleep when you're about to face an army, she replied. Liam turned back to the screen. The enemy ships were closing in fast. They were too many to outrun. We can't escape, Liam said. We fight. Valera's eyes were full of sorrow, but they also shined with something else. Faith. You've already won the battle, Liam, she said quietly. He shook his head. No, not yet. She stepped closer. The seed chose you, but it didn't just give you power. It gave you something more. It gave you the strength of every civilization it has touched, every battle it survived. The galaxy will bow to you, or it will burn. Liam's gaze locked onto her. The weight of her words hit him. But for the first time, he didn't feel afraid. He felt ready. Outside, the enemy fleet moved into position. They were ready to destroy everything in their path. Liam stepped forward, placing his hand over the control panel. His heart began to beat faster, not in fear, but in anticipation. He could feel the seed inside him, waking, pushing him forward. He didn't need weapons. The seed was his weapon. He closed his eyes. He whispered, I am the protector. Light exploded around him. It came from the mark on his chest, his hands, his entire body. The ship's systems hummed and crackled, as if the ship itself was coming alive. Golden light poured from Liam, flowing out of the ship into the space around them. The first enemy ship fired. A blast of pure energy shot from the front of the Nomad, colliding with the enemy ship's weaponry. It didn't just block the blast. It absorbed it. Liam felt the power surge through him, through the Nomad, through the entire battlefield. He opened his eyes. The enemy fleet stopped moving. For a moment, everything was still. The space around them was silent. Then the enemy ships fired again. This time, Liam didn't hesitate. He raised his hands, and the energy flowed from him like a river. A giant pulse shot from the Nomad. It hit the enemy fleet like a shockwave, pushing them back, shaking their ships. They lost control, spinning into one another. It was chaos. Liam felt the power inside him. It was more than just raw force. It was life. The power to protect, to defend, to shield the innocent. With every pulse, the enemy fleet shrank. Their ships fell from the sky like burning stars. Valera watched, her heart racing. She had never seen anything like it. The power inside Liam was uncontrollable but beautiful. But it wasn't over yet. Another ship appeared, larger, darker, a shadow of dread that loomed like a storm. Liam felt the threat. This was different. This ship was alive, in a way the others weren't. Its energy was cold, ancient. He could sense it, a dark presence that came from a faraway place. The ship's weapons powered up. The ground beneath the Nomad shook. Liam felt the air change around him. The seed inside him reacted, growing restless. "Liam, it's the Sovereign," Valera whispered, almost trembling. "The leader of the fleet. It is said to be more than a machine. It is a soul." Liam turned to face her, his expression firm. "Then I'll face it." He closed his eyes and reached deep within himself, to the core of the seed. He could feel the Sovereign's energy. It was ancient, but weak. The seed had taken too much from it. There was a flicker of life inside the Sovereign ship, but it wasn't enough to stop what was coming. He raised his hands. A wave of pure energy poured from him like an ocean, crashing into the Sovereign ship. For a moment, everything went dark. Then, light exploded. When the light faded, the Sovereign was gone. It was nothing but dust in the void. The enemy ships had been defeated. The fleet scattered. They didn't stand a chance against the power of the Protector. Liam stood in the cockpit, breathing heavily. His body ached, but his heart burned with a new fire. The seed was inside him. The power was his, but it was more than just power. It was his purpose. Valera walked to him, her eyes filled with awe. "You did it," she said softly. Liam nodded. "We did it." They both turned to look at the stars. The universe was still vast, still unknown. But now it felt different. The seed had awakened within him. And with it, he had become the protector of something far bigger than himself. He was no longer a scavenger. He was a protector of life. And the galaxy was safer for it. She left him something greater. The battle was over. The enemy fleet had been scattered. The dark presence of the Sovereign was gone, reduced to nothing but dust in the cold of space. The sky was quiet again. But Liam didn't feel relief. The ship was silent, save for the soft hum of the engine. He sat in the cockpit, staring at the stars ahead. The lights from the last battle still flickered in his eyes, like a distant memory. He could feel the seed within him, still pulsing with power, but now there was a hollow echo inside. A deep space where something had been. And now it was gone. It had been her. Valera. The woman who had given him everything. The one who had trusted him, sacrificed everything for him. She had passed on her strength, her knowledge, and her heart. And now, she was gone. Liam closed his eyes and leaned back in his seat. The memory of the moment she had left him was still fresh. The moment when she had given him everything. It had been after the battle. after the sovereign's destruction. Valera had been so weak, so pale, she had collapsed beside him, her body trembling. "Liam," she had whispered, her voice barely audible. "I gave you all I have, everything." Her hand had reached up to touch his face, her fingers cold but gentle. "You will carry it now," she had said, her voice shaking. "The seed. And my light. Promise me, you will protect it." Liam had held her in his arms, feeling the life fading from her. He had wanted to scream, to do anything to stop it, but she had just smiled at him, her eyes full of love, full of faith. And then she was gone. The pain was still fresh, raw. Liam had felt her leave him. But he had also felt something else, a warmth, a light, the part of her that had passed into him. She had left him something greater than just the seed. She had left him her purpose. He looked down at the glowing mark on his chest. It was no longer just a symbol of power. It was a symbol of everything Valera had given him. Her trust, her love, and most of all, her belief in him. He was no longer just a scavenger. He was something more. He was the protector, the guardian of the seed, the one who would carry its legacy forward. But the galaxy was still out there. The war wasn't over. The enemies that had come for the seed had been defeated, but there would be more. The galaxy would always be in danger. Liam turned his gaze to the stars. They were beautiful, infinite, but full of danger. The galaxy was vast, and he had only begun to understand his role in it. But he knew one thing. He wasn't alone. The door to the cockpit opened behind him. It was the AI, its calm voice cutting through the silence. "Liam, there is a message from Valera." His heart skipped a beat. "What?" he said, turning around quickly. "What do you mean?" The AI projected a hologram in front of him. It was Valera, her face peaceful, serene. Her voice echoed in the cockpit. It was the last message she had recorded for him, a gift from her before she passed. "Liam," she said softly, "if you're hearing this, then I am no longer with you. But know this, you are my protector. You are the one who will save this galaxy from the darkness. You are the one who will carry the seed's legacy." Her voice broke for a moment, as if she was holding back tears. "I gave you everything I had, Liam. My strength, my memories, my heart. You are not just carrying the seed. You are carrying me. I trust you with everything. And I know you will make the right choices. The galaxy will test you. The seed will test you. But you have the strength to rise above it all." The hologram paused for a moment. "I love you, Liam. And I will always be with you. The light you carry is not just mine. It is the light of the galaxy. Protect it. Protect them." The message ended, and the hologram faded into the air. Liam sat there, frozen. Her words echoed in his mind. He had always been alone. He had always been a scavenger, running from one job to the next. But now he understood. Valera had given him a purpose. She had trusted him with the future. Her message had told him everything he needed to know. The galaxy was still in danger. The enemies that had come for the seed would return. But now he had the strength to protect it. And he had the wisdom to guide him. Liam stood up and walked to the back of the ship. The lights in the medbay were dim, but he knew where she had passed. He could still feel her presence in the air. He could feel her love. But he also knew something else. Valera had given him more than just power. She had given him the ability to choose. The choice to fight for what was right. The choice to protect the innocent. The choice to lead. And he was going to honor that choice. He sat in the cockpit again and looked at the stars. He could feel the galaxy's weight. It was vast, filled with unknowns, with darkness. But he also felt something else. Hope. Valera had believed in him. And now he believed in himself. He wasn't just the protector of the seed anymore. He was the protector of the galaxy. The seed was inside him. But it was more than power. It was the light. and the galaxy needed that light more than ever. Liam activated the ship's controls, setting a course toward the unknown. There was still much to do. The battle for the seed was not over, but he was ready now. He had the strength, he had the wisdom, he had the legacy of Valara, and with that, he would fight for the galaxy. The Protector's journey had just begun.